In this video, we're going to be going over exactly how much dividend income I made in the month of December from a $52,000 dividend portfolio. And there's going to be a lot to go over in this video. And you can see to analyze this, we're going to be looking at my do-it-yourself investor toolkit. We're going to be looking at my investment dashboard. We'll be looking at my dividend dashboard, a dividend calendar, a daily dividend calendar, and we'll also be looking at portfolio projections so we can see what my dividend portfolio will look like in the future. Now, if you'd like to be able to download this spreadsheet, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. Now, at the end of this video, we're also going to be addressing some common concerns that I see people have about my dividend portfolio. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. And like I said, the first thing we're going to be looking at is my investment dashboard. Now, there's a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and zoom in and start looking at this. If we come right here, we can see the current portfolio value of my dividend portfolio, just a little bit above $52,000, and the portfolio cost $52,777. So I am down about $700 currently, which is a loss of a little bit over 1%. Now, when you take into the fact that I am a dividend investor and include the dividends I've received over that time period, I'm actually up about 2.04% over the past year. Now, if we jump over to Seeking Alpha and look how the SPY has performed, we can see year to date, it looks like it's going to end about 20% down. So that's a pretty drastic fall down. So when you compare that to the performance of my portfolio over that same amount of time, I've actually way outperformed the market. But let's go ahead and scroll down and we can see my allocation right here. I currently have about 25.7% of my capital in a cash position and about 74.3% in stocks. I think that's pretty healthy. I have enough cash to continue to capitalize if the market continues to fall down. Now, the total holdings of my current portfolio is 39. That's something we're actually going to be talking about a little bit later in this video. Now, if we come back up here, we can see my cost and market value chart. Essentially, it's just a way to compare how much I put into each position and what the current market value of these positions is. If we come over here, we can see my growth. Now, a lot of the newer positions that I've added were right here, and we can see out of all these positions, it looks like I am currently up, but I do have a few big losers we want to include as well. You can see INTC, I'm down about 34%. If we come over here, Verizon, I'm down about 21%. ACR 25 and GSBD 26. I also have some big winners though. I recently added Caterpillar a few months ago and I'm already up 36% on that position. You can see Starbucks, I'm up over 25%, SJM up over 33%, and Coca-Cola, one of the largest positions in my portfolio, I'm up over 31%. Now, if we come up here, we can see my diversification by each individual stock. For the most part, I keep most of my positions between 1 to 4%, as we can see right here. I do have a few positions that are larger than that, such as Coca-Cola, but a large reason that this position is larger is because I've seen so much capital appreciation. Now, we also have Microsoft taking up a very large position in my dividend portfolio. I am actually comfortable with that. I may reduce that in the future, but I'm a huge believer in this company long term. Then over here, you can just see we have a couple of index funds or ETFs. I'm completely comfortable with those positions being a little bit larger than my usual 1 to 4%. Now, if we scroll down a little bit further, we can see my allocation by industry. This is another important way to track the diversification of your portfolio. And you can see technology, a pretty large position at 25%, financials at 24%, and everything other than that is quite a bit lower. We can see real estate around 8%, consumer defensive around 12%, consumer cyclical 10%, and ETFs about 9.4%. Then I have a few other positions that are smaller as well. Now, something else we do want to talk about later in this video is going to be my future portfolio outlook. And this is just a way I can project what my dividend portfolio will look like in the future, but we'll come back and talk about that just a little bit later. But the next thing that we do want to look at is going to be my dividend dashboard, and this is what a lot of people want to see. And so you can see my expected yearly dividend income at this time is about $1,843. The all-time dividend income I've received is $1,775, which leads to an average monthly dividend income of $153 a month. My current portfolio dividend yield is sitting at right at 3.5%. And now the number that everyone wants to see, in the month of December, I received my highest month of dividend income ever at $152.71. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, and they often leave comments down below. A dividend yield of 3.5% and only receiving $152 for the size of my portfolio doesn't seem like it's worth it. And again, that's one of the concerns I'm going to be addressing later in this video. But let's go ahead and finish analyzing this. Again, we can see a slight jump up in my portfolio value over this past month. A large part of that is because I have added capital and I have seen gains from some positions. The S&P 500 again dropped quite a bit in the month of December, so it did hold back a lot of growth. I saw a lot of growth from October to November though, as you can see right here. Now, the last way I do like to track diversification that I think is very important is going to be my dividend income by industry. And you may notice there is a potential risk here. We can see financials takes up about 33% of all of my dividend income. So that is a potential risk. In 2023, I'm going to be looking to diversify where my dividend income is coming from a little bit. We can see technology. I get about 15% of my dividend income from technology. Real estate about 12%. Consumer defensive about 11.4%. Now, if we come down here, we can see my dividend yield on cost. And we can't see... Starting out with my dividend portfolio, I did add a fewer higher yielding positions, but as of late, I've been much more focusing on dividend growth. And right here, we can see 2 new positions that I have added to my dividend portfolio, AVGO and JEF. Those are both positions that I added over this past month. Now right here, we can see my dividend income by each individual stock. We can see ACRE, one of my larger positions, at $110 a year. We have Altria Group around $130, and then JEPI. I don't have a very large position in JEPI. I do like the fund for people who are later in their years, but I am receiving about $140 a month. But other than that, it's fairly well diversified where my dividend income is coming from. Now let's go ahead and jump into my dividend calendar, and this is one of my absolute favorite ways to track my dividend income for multiple reasons. Obviously, we can see how much I've made each month in dividend income, and we can see how much I've made from each stock over the past year, but most importantly, it allows us to track our dividend growth over time. So for example, if we look at O right here, we can see this is a monthly dividend paying company. Looks like I didn't have any right here, but essentially we can see that every single month, I'm getting paid more and more in dividends from this company for a couple of different reasons. One, because I reinvest my dividends that I receive back into that position, but also because they increase the amount they pay in dividends every single year. So this is really cool to be able to track your dividend income this way, to see which months you were paid dividends from which stocks and see your dividend growth. And again, you can see December was my highest month of dividend income, and in 2022, I received about $1,150 in total dividend income. And we can already see the projections for 2023 were quite a bit higher than that, and I plan on continuing to buy dividend stocks, so I wouldn't be surprised if this jumps up as high as $3,000 over the next few months. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into my daily dividend calendar, but before we do that, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Masterworks. You know, like I know, the investing world has turned upside down. The most powerful stocks of our generation have lost over $5 trillion in market cap this year, and to help prevent further losses, many analysts are jumping on one major trend. High net worth investors and even major institutions are in part transitioning from traditional stock and bond portfolios. That's right, while the 60-40 stock and bond portfolio is down an average of 34% this year, 88% of financial advisors intend to increase their allocations to alternative asset classes in the next 2 years. Particularly physical assets, ones that have historically resisted inflation, and there's a unique investment that's been around for centuries, one that may not fluctuate as greatly in response to government rulings. It's not gold, it's not real estate, it's contemporary art. So far in 2022, art market transaction volume is on pace to beat its pre-pandemic yearly record of $30.5 billion. And over the last 26 years, contemporary art prices have outpaced the S&P 500 by 131%, the last time inflation was near its current levels. Contemporary art prices appreciated at an average yearly rate of 13.5% according to the MW All Art Index. During that time period, only art, gold, and real estate outpaced inflation rates. Until recently, you'd need millions of dollars for just a chance to enter the market. But with our sponsor, Masterworks, you can invest in contemporary art for just a fraction of the cost. Nearly 600,000 people have signed up so far, and paintings have sold out in minutes, but my subscribers can get priority access at the link in the description. Okay, so now we're looking at my daily dividend calendar, and this is similar to my dividend calendar, but essentially what this does is it allows us to see exactly what days we were paid dividend income. So you can see December is listed right here, and there was quite a few days where I actually did receive dividends this month. We can see on the first day I received around $11, pretty good day on the 6th at around $24, a $21 day on the 8th, a $23 day on the 12th, a $28 day on the 15th, and then a couple of lower days we can see right here. And then on the 30th, I received about $24.33. So that's pretty solid. We can see my highest day of dividend income for 2022 was $42.11, and that was on November 15th. As we can see right here. Now, the last thing I want to do before jumping into some common concerns is going over my dividend portfolio projections. And essentially, this is just a way I can see what my future dividend portfolio will look like. And if we jump over to my investment dashboard, this is what we're looking at right here. We're going to be able to see what my yearly dividends, total dividend income, and portfolio value will look like in 5-year increments. And the cool thing about this is we can toggle this between if we don't reinvest dividends and if we do reinvest dividends. So let's go ahead and glance at without reinvesting dividends. We can see about 15 years from now, I can expect to receive around $32,400 in dividend income, and my portfolio value would be about $934,000. But if I do reinvest dividends over that time period, which I plan on doing, we can see my yearly dividend income would be over $45,700, and my portfolio value would be over $1.3. But if we jump all the way forward to 30 years from now when I reinvest dividends, we can see I can expect to receive over $250,000 every single year in dividend income, and my portfolio value will be over $7.4 million. That just really goes to show the power of dividend investing when you invest into dividend growth companies and reinvest those dividends over time. Okay, now let's go ahead and address some of the common concerns about my dividend portfolio. And the two common concerns that I see are the total holdings I have in my portfolio and the total amount of dividend income I'm receiving every single year. So people are often critical of the amount of the total holdings that I have in my dividend portfolio, and this is actually something I somewhat agree with. If we go back and look at some of my earlier positions that I added into my portfolio before I really took dividend growth investing pretty seriously, we can see some of them don't really align with my dividend investing goals like GSBD, ACRE. These are actually positions, and you can see I made a note over here that I plan on reallocating the capital in 2023 into positions that more align with my future dividend investing goals. Now, the other common concern that we do see is my portfolio dividend yield of about 3.5% leads to average monthly dividends of $153. And with a dividend portfolio the size of around $51,500 to $52,000, a lot of people just don't think it's worth it. But what they don't understand is the future portfolio outlook when you reinvest dividends over time and invest into dividend growth companies. This is going to allow you to receive dividend yields on cost of 10, 20, 30, and even up to 50%. Warren Buffett's investment into Coca-Cola is a prime example of this. He has a yield on cost of about 50%, and that again goes to show you the power of long-term compounding dividend investing. It's the exact reason that I believe in that same dividend investing mindset. Dividend growth investing allows you to really build wealth over long periods of time, and if you're not convinced, go ahead and check out my video on how to live off of dividend income, because it is a great example of why I believe dividend growth investing is one of the best options people have. So there you go. That's how much dividend income I made in the month of December from a $52,000 account. If you'd like to be able to download this spreadsheet, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.